Next is, previously we have seen the types of backup. This is a generic types of backup that can happen anywhere. Now, what are the types of backups which RMAN can take? RMAN has two types of backups. It is full backup and incremental backup. This is at bigger level. Once we dig inside incremental level, there are again multiple types of backups inside incremental level. We will understand them one by one. First of all, full backup. What is a full backup? Full backup is nothing but the backup of your entire database. And also, when you take full backup, you cannot apply the incremental backup on top of full backup. Remember, when you take DB full backup, you cannot apply any incremental backup onto your full backup. Incremental backups can be applied only to incremental backups only. As I told, there are multiple types of incremental backups. We will get into incremental backup in some time, but incremental backups can work on themselves. You cannot have incremental backup applied onto your full database backup. Let us get inside this one and understand what is DB full backup. You have your database, you have all your data files, whatever the used blocks are available inside your data files, they will be backed up into your backup files, or I would say backup sets. Great. This is how your DB full backup will happen. But as we know that RMAN is an inconsistent backup, and in inconsistent backup we need to have backup of also archive blocks. What it will do is, before ending the backup, it will also take the backup of the archives to make sure you have the backups of all the changes while the backup was still going on. Great. This is one methodology. Now we have a scenario. This is our timeline. These are hours. Okay, I have taken the backup over here. Maybe at 10 a.m. we take the backup. At 11, 12, 1, 2, I'm taking only the backups of archives. Now what is the benefit, or what happens in this case is, let us assume at 1 p.m. my database crashed. So what I'll do, I will restore using my DB full backup, the full backup which I have taken, plus I will keep on applying the archives which I have taken backed up at 11 a.m. Then I'll apply the archive backup which I have taken at 12. Then I'll apply the archive backup which I have taken at 1, and then I'll open the DB. This is how DB full backup will work. In DB full, remember, it's very simple. One backup plus archives. This is the only things that you will have when you take DB full backup. When I say one backup, don't consider it as one backup set or one backup piece. Just assume it one database entire backup plus archives. Let's move on to incremental backup. Now in incremental backups, there are again two types of incremental backups. First of all, why incremental backups and why this idea of incremental backup came into picture. Okay, this is timeline for a week. It starts at Monday, then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Let's take every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and also on Sunday, we take DB full backup. DB full backup is nothing but your database full backup. Your database size, I mean to say the used size, your database is around 1 TB. So every time the full backup would also be somewhere around 1 TB. Your backup is 1 TB. Plus on Wednesday another backup of 1 TB is taken. Plus on Friday 1 TB backup is taken. plus on Sunday 1 TB backup is taken. Eventually at the end of the week you have total 4 TB backup. Fine, this is okay. If you have good disk space and your client is ready, you can always go for DB full backup. But why incremental backup is recommended? Because you have a timeline. The same timeline will consider. In this case, what your incremental backup will do is it will take a full backup on Monday, and the full backup size is of 1 TB. And on Wednesday, your incremental backup will take only the changes that happen between Monday and Wednesday. So let us assume the changes were 10 or maybe 100 GB. It will be easy for us. Again, from Wednesday to Friday, there were no changes, 0. And then from Friday to Sunday, there was again 100 GB change. So at the end of the week, the size of your backup is around 1.2 TB. Now see the difference. In incremental backup, you have only 1.2 TB disk space utilized, whereas in DB full backup, you have 4 TB disk space that is utilized. But both of them will solve the same purpose. There is nothing like DB full is wrong or incremental is wrong. It again depends the type of recovery you want. Just to optimize your disk space, 1.2 TB is great. Right. When we talk about incremental backup, we just now have seen that what is the benefit of incremental backup. Now let us get inside the incremental backup and understand what are the types of incremental backups that we have. Again, we'll have our own timeline. To understand backup and recovery, we need to have timelines. So this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. When we say level 0, it simply means it's DB full backup, which again means this one is required for minimum to apply either archives or level 1 backup. I repeat, level 0 backup or level 0 incremental backup is minimum required to apply either archives on it or level 1 backup. So that is level 0. Minimum required to perform restore. Next is level 1 backup. Changes from last incremental backup. Now we have taken level 0 backup on Monday. On Tuesday, I'm taking level 1 backup. What this level 1 backup will consist of? The changes between level 0 and level 1. Next, I'm taking backup on Wednesday. This will again be L1 backup. Your L1 backup on Wednesday will again have the changes between last L1 backup and today's date, or maybe whatever the time you're taking the backup. Again, on Thursday, I'm taking L1 backup. It will have changes between my last L1 backup. Again, on Friday, I'm taking L1 backup. It will have changes from my last L1 backup. Likewise, the scenario will continue for whole week. And next Monday, I'll take again level 0 backup. Now remember, when we say we need to have minimum level 0 in order to perform your restore, remember, if your database crashed on Thursday, you cannot use your L1 to right away put it on disk and use. You need to first put your L0 and then you add up your L1s to it in order to open your database on Thursday. So level 0 is minimum required, your full backup, and your incremental backups are added to your full backup to make your database or open your database at a particular time. Now level 0 will have your entire database backup. Level 1 will only have the changes. Now remember, when we talk about L1, if we only have changes, we can't restore the database because there is no entire database details into L1. So where we can get the entire details of the L1? We can get it from level 0 backup. Level 0 has the details of entire DB. We will restore from level 0, then add level 1. And also in level 0 and level 1, remember, we have learned that incremental backups can be applied to incremental only. You cannot add this L1 to our previously understood DB full backup or full DB backup. You cannot apply. But the level 0 backup and your DB full backup are one and the same in terms of the contents inside them. Because your level 0 will also take the backup of your entire database. Your DB full backup will also take the backup of your entire database. Both the backups are having same data. But when it comes to recovery or performing any other kind of activity, the incremental backups can be applied only to incremental, which means L0 plus L1 can happen. You cannot perform full plus L1. This is not possible. So this is why incremental backups are little bit different when it comes to your full backups. Full backup is an old strategy and incremental backup is a new strategy. But as a DBA, you must know to which database, what type of backup strategy you have to use. More on the type of backup strategy we will understand in best practices of RMAN. For now, let us come back to our incremental backup. So this is the first foundation of incremental backup. We have two types, level 0 and level 1. Level 1 can be applied only to level 0, not to full backup. This is about level 0 and level 1 backups. Now L0 is nothing but your full backup. L1 is incremental. But again, in L1, there are two types. Differential backup and cumulative. I'm sorry for the spelling. So in L1, you again have differential and the next one is cumulative. Differential backup is the one which is default. Cumulative is optional. Now what's the difference between both of them? Let us assume this is your timeline or this is a graph and we start from like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday and Saturday. On Sunday by default we take L0 backup. On Monday when we perform the L1 differential, right now we are talking about the default scenario. When we talk about the differential, it will take the changes between the last L0 backup or nothing but your last incremental backup till current time. This is your L1. On Tuesday when I take L1, it will again take the backup of only changes that happened between last incremental backup. Either it is L0 or L1. Again on Wednesday when I take the backup L1, nothing but differential, it will take the difference between or the changes happened between any of my last backup. It can be L0 or L1. Likewise, the scenario will continue till Saturday. Again next week on Sunday we will take L0 backup and then on next Monday it will take the difference between the previous L0 backup which was taken on Sunday. Right, but what happens in cumulative backup? When we take L1 cumulative, on Monday it will take the difference between my Sunday backup, nothing but L0 backup, and the current time on Monday, L1C. L1C is nothing but level 1 cumulative. On Tuesday when I perform L1C backup, it will again take the changes from Sunday itself. Nothing but last L0 backup, L1C. When I take the backup on Wednesday, it will take the backup of changes made between Sunday till Wednesday, L1C. On Thursday when I take the backup, it will again take the backup from Sunday till Thursday, L1C. When I take the backup on Friday, it will take the backup of all the changes that happened from Sunday till Friday, L1C. Likewise on Saturday also it will take the changes from last L0 backup. So if we have to define the differential and cumulative, differential is equal to any last backup, which means it can be L0 or L1. The changes between the last L0 or L1, whatever backup is available, that will be differential. But when it comes to cumulative, it will take backup of the changes from last L0 backup only. Now the question is when to use differential and when to use cumulative. Okay, these two parts are totally different. Again, we will look into recovery, how differential and cumulative types of backups will help us. As we have understood, in incremental backups, we have two types, level 0, level 1. And again, inside level 1, it is of two types. One is differential and another is cumulative. Differential is the default one. And remember, your incremental level 0 backup is same as your full database backup, but the only difference is on your full backup you cannot apply level 1 incremental backup. Level 1 incremental backup can only be applied to level 0 incremental backup. So incremental backups will work only with itself, and full backup can only work with the archives. You can apply archives on full backups. Now there is a small note over there. Archives, redo logs can be applied to any type of RMAN backup. Now let it be full backup or incremental backup. You can apply the archives or your redo logs to any type of backup. It doesn't mean that full backup, only archives can be applied to full backup or archives can be applied to only incremental backups. Now why do we need to apply archives? Because in case if you want to move the database in time, or whenever we restore, we want to increase the time or add some transactions to it. So more on adding archives and redo logs later in recovery, but for now just understand it doesn't mean that archives can only be applied to full backups. Archives can be applied to database at any point of time, whenever you want. And also, why do we need to apply the redo logs? Because archive logs are nothing but your redo logs. So if there is some data that is available in redo logs which was not archived, even we can apply the redo logs and open the database. In RMAN, we have few components that we need to know. These components are important to understand how RMAN works. First of all, RMAN prompt, we know it's an RMAN utility. It is invoked by just typing RMAN. Next is we have a target database. Target database is nothing but the database whose backup or recovery operations will be performed by RMAN. Next is your recovery catalog. Recovery catalog is a separate server out of your target database which will store your backup metadata. Now why do we need a recovery catalog and all? We'll understand when we are learning about recovery catalog. Next is auxiliary database. Now you refer to auxiliary database when you are cloning your target database, which means the database over to which you will clone your target database, it is referred as auxiliary database inside RMAN. Next is media management layer. This media management layer is nothing but it's a configuration software that you configure in order to take backups of RMAN onto a separate device like tapes and all. If you want to configure the tapes, you need to have media management software installed, and once the media management software is installed, your RMAN can speak up with tapes. Next is RMAN channels. We know why RMAN channels are required. And final one is nothing but your RMAN configuration parameters. If your RMAN configuration parameters are not set perfectly well, then definitely it will impact your backup strategies. So these RMAN components you must know.